Hi, Steve Mullins, Norton, Virginia, Mullins Martial Arts. I wanted to take a moment to go over some footwork that I think is extremely important, especially in terms of your boxing stance. Now, if you look, I have used chalk, as I so often do, with my students to illustrate what we need to be careful about here. This middle line here in the blue, this is your center line. And if you're in a left lead, as most orthodox boxers and kickboxers will use, weak side forward, you'll take the left foot and the ball of the left foot will be on that line. Your right foot is underneath you, about shoulder width or so. You'll have to experiment. You don't want to be too wide and you don't want to be too narrow either if you're in boxing range, okay? And notice how this line, my heel would almost be on it, but I move it off to the right just a little bit. This angle that my left foot is pointing at is a 30-degree angle, basically. Now, some people say that this left foot should be at a 45-degree angle. If this is 90, 45 would be like that. That's fine, and that works, but I'm recommending you go at about a 30-degree angle, and there are reasons for that. But if this foot is pointed at a 30-degree angle that way, this foot needs to be pointed at a 30-degree angle so that you have two parallel lines, okay? Hands up, right hand especially, is up high, elbow in, front left hand, not up like this, but out away from your face a little bit, and down maybe just a little bit right here. Again, you'll have to experiment. For different people, it'll work differently, but that's the basic boxing stance. Now, if you come a little closer, let me show you something about footwork when you throw the right cross. You want to step off to your left, and your left foot now wants to point straight ahead. And the idea here is that this foot parallels this center line. So I'm here, step off with the right hand. Now this line and this line parallel, and my punch comes right up the middle, right on the center line. That's my right cross, or my straight right. This right foot, it was pointing at 30 degrees, but I want to get some rotation on this to help my right hip turn counterclockwise this way. So now when I finish with the right cross, this toe is now going to be pointing straight ahead. So we have another parallel line. Here's one, here's the center line, and then here's this line. At the point of contact, bang, I'm punching right up the middle, right up along the center line, and I have this left knee bent pretty well. The whole idea is to have if you imagine a fishing line or a piece of string from your nose to your knee to your big left toe, straight down. Any more forward and you're off balance forward. If you don't have a lot of bend in this leg, then you're kind of punching over top of your leg and you're not using your lower body to its maximum, okay? So again, here's the boxing stance. Arms in tight, elbows in. I throw a jab, and as I jab, I might step up a little bit with the toe still pointed at a 30-degree angle, or I might go forward with the jab. But when I throw the cross, I step off a little bit to my left here, paralleling the center line, turning on the ball of the right foot and punching right down the line. And one other thing too I didn't mention earlier, you can probably see it, but if you'll notice, my right heel is off the ground. I don't have this flat. Now I know a lot of boxing coaches and a lot of boxers who do very well with this foot flat. That's fine. But this comes from Gung Fu and Jeet Kune Do. Bruce Lee's idea was that the rear foot needs to be up on the ball of the foot. It's like you're in track, you're on the block, and this enables me to use the push shuffle to push off my back leg in order to deliver a strike, especially with a front jab. This way. This way, like that. But again, 30 degrees on the left foot, 30 degrees give or take on the right foot, turned in. The whole idea, if I turn my foot in by this kind of angle, this turns my left knee in, which turns my left hip in, which turns my left shoulder in. Makes it easier for me to hide, you see? And then, when you throw the right cross, you square up to the opponent for a moment, you see? So this boxing stance that I teach and I use is very similar to the on-guard jong stance in Jeet Kune Do. Slightly different because in JKD they like to turn the feet a little bit more and they like to go a little bit wider. But for most of my martial arts career, I have used a slightly narrower stance and have kept my feet at about 30 degrees. So this gives me the same advantage of turning my body in like this. Now when we come back, we'll take a look at the kick stance for Muay Thai.